moment, I'll invite the lead petitioner, Mr. Fenelon, to present the petition submitted, and he will have no more than 5 minutes to do so, following which members will have a maximum of 15 minutes for the discussion. We also received one deputation, which needs to be reported in accordance with Procedure Rule 25, subsection 1C, by the Acting Chief Executive, Ms. Wakefield.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we received one deputation which was on substantially the same subject matter as the petition which is already on the agenda. The petition had already arrived in our offices and had been accepted as valid and was on the agenda as an item of business this evening, and therefore the deputation had to be ruled inadmissible, out of order, thanks to Procedure Rule 25B3.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wakefield. So I'll now invite Mr. Fenelon to come to the chair halfway down the right-hand side of the chamber to make his to present the petition, please. If you're more comfortable seated, please take a seat. Okay, when you begin, your 5 minutes will start.
Good evening. I'm here today because the Friends of Rutland County Museum, which I chair, and many Rutlanders were shocked by the Cabinet's decision in May to abandon plans to acquire the Rutland Sea Dragon. We have organised a petition to try and save it, and we obtained over 2,000 signatories within 2 weeks. It was clear from our campaigning that the people of Rutland overwhelmingly want the Sea Dragon to come to be displayed in an open museum, regarded as part of their history. The Sea Dragon is currently owned by Anglian Water, who are willing to donate it to our museum. However, the latest position of the council, as I understand it, is that they will only accept it if the money for conservation is available. There used to be money available for conservation. There was 800,000 designated from the Levelling Up Fund. But this has been taken away, so there is none left. So bingo, the council now say there's no money for conservation, so we can't accept the fossil from Anglian Water. The result of this is likely to be that Anglian Water give it away to somebody else, and it leaves Rutland. I'm told that at 5 o'clock today there was a press release saying that they were working with Leicestershire Wildlife Trust to about it. Following the Friends' suggestion, the cost of conservation has been significantly reduced by leaving out non-essential items, and it comes out at £500,000 now, just over. Friends are willing to contribute towards the cost of conservation and to help work to secure more, but support is needed from the council. If the council does nothing, as I was saying, Anglian Water are likely to give it away to somebody else. This huge 30-foot long ichthyosaur, about the length of this hall, is the largest ever found in Britain and is nationally and internationally important. It's 180 million years old and is well preserved. Rutland has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to acquire a major attraction for its museum in Oakland. It would bring in many more visitors, it would be a big help to Oakland's economy, and also help the larger county economy. would also help to justify entry charges that are being proposed. We're fortunate that there is more than enough space on the museum site to exhibit the ichthyosaur fossil properly when it was part of the £6 million cultural centre. Council say there is no money available. This is nonsense. The Council's latest accounts show £37 million of usable reserves. If we take off some commitments, this seems to fall to £27 million on page 4 of the accounts. When you look at the allocation of the 27 million, we find that about 17 million of it is for rainy day purposes. I have some details for a breakdown of that if anyone wants to look at it later. So they've got 17 million of spare reserves. Why not use it for something that the whole of Rutland, almost the whole of Rutland, badly wants? Never again is such a golden opportunity likely to arise. All that is missing is the willingness of the council, and especially the cabinet, to make it happen.
Right, Mr. Fennell, we've got 10 seconds.
Right. People of Rutland are clear that they want the Sea Dragon to be on display in Oakham. The council and cabinet will not be forgiven as they miss out this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fennell. That is the end of your allotted time. So you can either remain there or return to your seat. Members, yes, Councillor Penn.
Chair, to allow time for this important subject, could I propose suspension of the time limit for questions under CPR 51, which allows CPR 26 to suspend the time limit?
Okay, seconder. Councillor Stevenson. All those in favour of suspending the time limit?
Chair.
Those against?
Chair.
Abstentions? 4 Chair. Okay, therefore the time limit for this item is therefore suspended. Members, open to Councillor Powell.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Mr. Fenelon, for the petition and presenting it this evening. And it's obvious from the number of signatories that you've received and the time in which you've done it that those people feel very strongly about this very important asset and they want it to be conserved and kept in Rutland. I'm a portfolio holder and I'm going to say a few words because I think it's important that all members here have a chance to speak. I think that I agree with you. I would love this sea dragon to be conserved and to be in our museum, absolutely. To have this heritage treasure displayed would be absolutely fantastic. And actually that was the plan when I took on this portfolio in the coalition cabinet back in 2025. But I'm very much a can-do attitude, but I'm also a pragmatist. And believe me, we have looked at every which way on this one. We've had to continually review and adapt, not least in the context of local government organisation, to make sure that our projects are well advanced by March 2028. And we cannot just empty the council coffers to pay for it. I believe that would be reckless, and that is not the best use of council taxpayers' money that we empty our reserves on that. I'd just like to make 2 key points. One was about the levelling up fund money, which you referred to. That aid was actually given for the digitalisation of both the Roman mosaic. Let's not forget about the Roman mosaics. That's very old as well. The Roman mosaic and the ichthyosaur, the original bid was the digitalisation and creation of mobile models for that. So that was then reviewed. It wasn't for the conservation and the housing of this this huge fossil. So that was my first point, and I think there's a lot of information in the public domain and in the relevant cabinet papers, which I'm not going to go through. I think the other thing to bring to people's attention, which you did mention as well, Mr. Fenelon, was that Cabinet, full council actually agreed back in our budget meeting that we would commit £6 million to the transformation of the museum, which goes with the levelling up fund money that can sort of use for digitalisation as well. And actually that museum transformation project is a really exciting project to extend the museum, to do a new gallery, and to introduce a new entrance, lots of that things to really make that a place that people want to come. So believe me, I've had sleepless nights over this. This is, not an easy decision, but I think looking at all the facts in front of us, through the cabinet papers, you'll see the plans have changed and evolved as we continually need to do that. But at the end of the day, we need to concentrate on delivering that exciting museum transformation project for the people of Rutland, for our economy, and we have to go ahead with that and make that happen. Thank you.
Councillor Powell, for the members. Councillor Brock.
Thank you. I think, Chair, that I can put questions to Mr. Fenelon.
Yes, you can.
I'd like to ask Mr. Fenelon, the issue is clearly one of finance, and you said that the Friends of the Museum would offer to help in a financial way with raising the funds. What do you realistically think you could raise through the Friends of the Museum to contribute if this project were to go ahead as you like?
Well, the answer is nobody really knows. If we've got some rich person or a company in Rutland to back it, it could be the full 500,000. I've just been at a stakeholders meeting where we got a little bit more information on the project. It's claimed that it would take so long to go out to re-tender for the conservation that this 2028 deadline would be passed. I suggested that if the Friends were to take that on, there is a Heritage Lottery Fund grant which goes up to £250,000, which is available, which is on a rolling basis, and you get a decision within 8 weeks. So that would, if that came through, that would give half the deficit that's seems to be required. The Friends at the moment have offered to produce £50,000 for the museum expansion regeneration. We could probably increase that, but I can't give any definitive note on what we could do. If there was a £250,000 grant, and we were able to say put in 100,000, that would leave 250,000 deficit. And my argument is that with 17 million of disposable reserves, the council could easily fill that. It would be less than 5% of the.
Mr. Fenelon, you're not answering the question now. So I think you've answered that sufficiently. Any other members? Councillor Ross.
Mr. Fenelon, Mr. Fenelon, I believe you remember Discovery Rutland. Have you considered the relative community benefits of the Rutland Sea Dragon when compared to the Market Harbour exhibits of the Hamilton Hoard, which is considered to have saved that museum? Accepting the likely significant ongoing maintenance costs between the Rutland Sea Dragon and the Hamilton Hoard may well be significantly different, but it's about the impact on tourism. Thank you.
The Market Harbour situation is an example, but there are plenty of others. For example, the Derby Art Gallery and Museum has all these Joseph Wright paintings a star attraction and bring in lots of visitors. I don't have any figures for the number of visitors to Mark Harbour, but the estimates I've seen are that if the ichthyosaur was displayed in the Rutland County Museum, it would bring in an extra something like 20,000 a year adults. And if they were being charged £10 each, that would bring in £200,000 of income, which is not there at the moment. The economic benefits to Oakham Town as well as to the museum.
So, you need to, at this point, you need to be answering the questions rather than making a statement, so you can stick to the question asked.
Okay, well, I'm trying to.
Okay, well, I think you've answered that one in that case. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Chair. Just a point of information. You mentioned it'd be nice to have a rich company in Rutland that would support this. We do have one. It's called Anglian Water. It made £663 last year in operating profit.
Okay, well, I don't think that was a question, was it, Councillor Smith? But, yeah, just a point of question. Any other members? Yes, Councillor Clifton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I thought in this time, we've almost gone back to the age of the dinosaur. Mr. Fenner, thank you very much for your appearance here this evening. Thank you to the friends of the Rutland County Museum for initiating the petition. It is an important decision, and it's important for council matters to discuss about it. I'm actually supportive of your efforts, and I do wish you well. I think we should try and do what we can to keep our dinosaurs alive. We might almost say let Rutland hold what Rutland held for so long, and I do want to wish you well. As you know, we have found 2 large dinosaurs in Rutland in 6 years, which is a mere speck of time. We have found a ichthyosaur, which is now in West Museum, and now this ichthyosaurus. And I do actually wonder whether Rutland is actually attuned to holding dinosaur fossils, because they keep popping up. Perhaps we might have the same discussion decades to come. From my point of view, as an ordinary member of the council, I am in sympathy with you, and I feel that, in a sense, we haven't been given a great deal of information. As ordinary members, we've had a briefing at 4:01 p.m. this afternoon, which from 92 paragraphs you can understand that it's hard to digest on the timescale. But what I would hope is that, having heard from you and having appreciated your passion and your interest, that we talk about fundraising, we talk about community, we talk about the friends of the museum willing to put in money, we talk about the possibility there might be somebody out there who says, by jingo, I want the Sea Dragon, I can sponsor. Well, I urge you, I urge the members, and I urge the parents, and I urge the leadership, perhaps just think. Have we engaged enough? Have you engaged enough? Has everybody gone around every single corner and dotted every I, crossed every T? Because we've got really passionate people in this country, people with vision and commitment. And so I wish you well, and I hope that people will just reflect, is there a way forward we haven't thought about? And also, if we're going to have 92 paragraphs at 4:01 p.m, we have the week before, please, and not the day we've met. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Clifton. So, yes, Ms. Quadri.
Chair, Councillor Petition has referred to a briefing note which was prepared within 24 hours. It was for the purpose of members and will be made publicly available, but it was done in a timely fashion and wasn't a briefing note before the council tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Quadri. Any other members wish to speak? In that case, Councillor Stevens.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm seeking my opinion. He doesn't have to end the question. There may be ones, hold on to your horses. Clearly, there is passion within the county to have something that we believe will bring people to this county to enjoy our county, that takes us beyond one element of Rutland, such as Rutland Water. I've always hoped that Rutland County Council would be an enabler. As far as I can identify, and I don't doubt the huge amount of work, the huge amount of covering bases to see if things will work. My question isn't to Mr. Fenelon, my question is to Cabinet, it's to the reader. We clearly have two barriers that have been presented to us. One is time with local government reform, the terms of levelling up funding, and I do acknowledge the distinction between digitisation and preservation, and clearly money. My ask, my question, I won't be so bold as to say my demand.
Councillor Stevenson, this is not a point of questions to Cabinet, this is more of a discussion rather than questions.
Oh, I was being generously transparent, so Cabinet might like to weigh in mull my things. I will not, it is not a question to
Okay, it's not
Cabinet.
a question.
I'm just wondering if, rather in the spirit of Mr. Councillor Clifton, we can look at how we enable those barriers to be overcome. Mr. Fenelon has already mentioned the possibility of investment, that we make sure as an authority before we get subsumed, whenever we go next week, that we are enabling something that will be legacy for this county. And I leave that as a thought, not a question to Cabinet. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Stevenson. Any other members to say it? Councillor Dinsmore.
Thank you, Chair. A couple of concerns that I have would be around some of the legal exposure on this. Now, there's obviously been negotiation with Anglian Water. As I understand, nothing binding, no contracts entered into with them, although I welcome confirmation on that. On the Conservator as well, I don't know if there's any contracts entered into. What would obviously be disastrous if now, because this has been on
So, Councillor Dinsmore, we're talking about the petition
yes,
rather than the legalities here.
No, I mean, I would speak as to what my concerns are in relation to the petition, or not?
You
That's what
are,
I'm doing.
but we need to be discussing the petition in general.
Sorry, so how can I discuss it in general and then go on and talk about
Well, carry on, but just bear in mind what you said.
Okay. The petition's on the Sea Dragon. This has long been in the pipeline. It was in the budget. There's a briefing today that we've had to members of 92 paragraphs talking about various negotiations. First concern is whether or
Well,
not
no, it isn't a briefing. Mr. Water
a
already-
document has been circulated. I'm not going to get into the details of exactly how it's described. Something has been sent to us for a purpose at 4 o'clock. Not given us sufficient time to read it in detail. So all I'm saying is...
So, Mr. Dinsmore, Councillor Dinsmore, sorry, please have respect for the Chair. Thank you.
Okay. This has been in the offing for a long time. In the document that was circulated, there's a lot of discussion about negotiations, etc. I am concerned whether or not there might be an exposure to some sort of liability. It would clearly be a disaster if we ended up having to pay or settle some claim and don't end up with Sea Dragon. The second aspect also is I am concerned that there will be somebody takes a judicial review on this on the basis of one, a legitimate expectation that Sea Dragon would be secure, given everything that's been said.
Chair.
Two,
Just stop you there. Sorry, say that again, Mr. Marshall.
Chair, those are not matters that we can discuss at these meetings. They're not relevant to the petition, and they're matters that the council will be discussing in this forum.
how's it not relevant to the petition? It's about keeping Sea Dragon.
So, Councillor Dinsmore, the monitoring officer has given her opinion, and that is the opinion of the council. Any other members wish to speak? In that case, that is the end of this item. Oh, sorry. Councillor Payne.
Sorry, Chair. Just listening to the conversation and the fact there are questions raised, I think we have to, under the Constitution, respond to the petition, don't we?
I don't think it's not really true.
In my piece of paper here, it says that it's from the Constitution. It does say that we need to respond to the petition. And it says the council may decide to take forward the debate here, or commission further investigation into the matter, for example, by a relevant committee or subcommittee. And I was proposing that I know it's already on the agenda, that we take the response to the petition to scrutiny, where
Councillor Payne, carry on.
where we can consider the way forward and the full response to the petition. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything from you, Ms. Kawaja? Oh, Ms. Wakefield.
That sounds like a pragmatic solution, subject to a word of advice on, or the chair's freedom. We need to be mindful of the ambit of responsibility of scrutiny, and we need to be mindful of the fact that a decision has been made by Cabinet. And I agree with you, there is, and I acknowledge the fact that scrutiny already has on its work programme or a piece of work directed at the Rutland Sea Dragon in its broadest sense. I'm not certain at this time how Petition could be folded into that, but it's certainly something that I'm very happy to discuss with the Chair of Scrutiny outside this meeting.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wakefield. Therefore, if no other members wish to speak on this item, that concludes the item. Thank you, Mr. Fennell. Would you like to return to your seat? Next item is item